Welcome to Mama's Blogging for Biz and Bliss. And today on the show, I'm really happy to introduce to you, in case you don't already know, the beautiful Meera Kothand. And she's from MeeraKothand.com. And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I know, it was really just thrilled. I was just joking because I've been on her email list, and oh my goodness, every email you send out is just scrumptious and really value-packed, and I just devour them. But I have many questions, so I think I was starting to kind of scare her a little bit. It's like, can you just clarify this thing? So yeah, so she has been so incredibly gracious with answering all my weird questions. So thank you. I was just like, oh my God, she's never going to accept this interview request. But I just feel she has so much to offer to all of us listening and watching over here at Mama's Blogging for Biz and Bliss, because if you do want to take your blog and your bliss up to the biz level, we have to have Meera on the show to give us some tips on email marketing. She is a freelance writer, as well as I was just mentioning, an email marketing specialist and solopreneur. And her specialty is simplifying marketing strategy for bloggers and solopreneurs like us listening to the show, so we can find focus and craft a strategic online presence and help get us noticed. So you can check her out. We're going to have a link to her site in the show notes over at blissbeyondnaptime.com. But yeah, her work's been featured on places like Marketing Profs, Addicted to Success. I don't even know what some of these are, but I do know Smart Blogger. That sounds familiar. Successful Blogging, One Woman Show, and many others. So welcome to the show, Meera.
Thank you. I was going to say, you said you were on my list, so you've been getting all my... I've been spamming you quite a bit.
No, not at all. No, I get it. It's part of email marketing, right?
Yes, in a sense.
Kind of, yeah. Excellent. No, I do get your stuff. And to be honest, it's been a little full season. This is the time of year my mom comes out to visit. And so I am getting those emails from you, and all the emails that I want to read later, I put the little star beside. So when I pull up starred emails, it's all like, yeah, I have a lot of your posts I want to read because they're all very inviting. So I'm sure that's part of your secret sauce, but maybe you can tell us a little bit more about how you came to be an email marketing specialist, and we can take it from there and how to share some of your knowledge with our listeners out there.
Sure. Wow, where do I even start? I think I launched a year ago, so I was absolutely new, like total sub-zero. So I was not even someone who was active on social media. So I had no personal Pinterest account or Twitter account. So I just had my Facebook, and so I was like no one. So when I started, that was when I was new to everything, new to Pinterest, new to Twitter, new to blogging generally. So I did not have like a WordPress.com. I did not have a blogspot, nothing like that. I actually thought people who blogged were weird. Okay, so
I know.
So that was where I came from. So this is like totally new to me.
Yeah.
And I actually started because I was at home with my daughter. So I took a break. I resigned after I had my child. And I wanted to stay home for a year. And that year kind of just got really long. And so my husband just kept bugging me to do something, And so I was doing freelance writing for a bit. And but that was more in the parenting niche and the education niche. But I've always been interested in marketing because that was my degree. That was what I was doing in corporate. So I wanted to write for myself when it came to marketing. So that was how MeeraKothand.com came about. So I was just, a lot of the posts were questions that I had in my head, questions that I had for myself that I wanted to explore. And email was something that I was attracted to from the very beginning. I don't know what it is about it, but naturally I'm someone who likes to write. So email was something I just stuck to it. And that's when I started to learn more about email marketing. And I thought, hey, since I want to do this seriously, why not just get, certified? And I was the person who was always kind of like the nerd in school. So I liked taking tests and exams and stuff like that.
I love nerds.
So this certification was like, yeah, why not, just another thing to do. So that's how everything came about. And I am actually so grateful for the people on my list, because I think I have the nicest people. So I don't get like trolled a lot. I don't get a lot of hate emails or anything like that. So yeah, I'm very grateful for them, because my emails have actually changed a lot. Because if for someone who's been on my list from March last year, they've actually, grown quite a bit. So I think if you've been on my list a year earlier, you would see it's a little bit awkward. I came about. I'm kind of like easing into it right now. So I think it's a process for everyone. Yeah.
And you said you got certified. What'd you get certified in exactly?
It's actually an email marketing course for something like that. It's done by a digital marketer.
Oh,
and,
yeah, cool.
Yeah. So I love the work that they do. So I just thought, why not just go and do that? Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. So what is, if you can just explain in some kind of analogy what email marketing is to an online business in terms of like, why should we, and what is it like? I love analogies. Like everything for me is like either a yoga class or birthing or roller skating.
Wow, okay.
I don't know.
Okay, well, let me see if I can put this simply. The way I see it, the moment someone opts into your list, they can't just sit there. I mean, they need to go in some direction. You need to inch them forward, and it depends on what you want to do with your subscribers. So if you've looked at my posts, and I always say this, you need to have a plan for your emailers. And I think now that's the missing part of the equation. So everyone knows they need to have an email list. I need to grow my list, because I think that is kind of like ingrained, but we don't really know the basics of how to have a plan for that list. So I think having a plan means that the moment someone's on your list, you kind of know, you chart their direction. So if they opted in for, like you mentioned, something about birthing, then, are you going to send them in a certain way? Because I know some moms, they offer services, birthing services, or some form of coaching for moms after they, give birth and stuff like that. So are you sending them in that direction? So, you need to have like an end goal for where you want to lead your subscriber. Mm-hmm. And actually, this is literally a review that I did for someone. So this mama, she's really good at what she does, and she has like birthing counseling services and stuff like that. But she did not really have a plan for a mama who comes on her list to get to that end goal. She did not really know how to inch that subscriber forward towards finding more about her offerings. So I think, I'm not sure if that was a good enough analogy, but you need to inch your subscriber forward to that end goal. The way you do that is with your email content. So you need to send them, like in sequence or something of that sort that pushes them, that shows them what you have to offer in a product or a service, or actually it could even be an affiliate offer that you're proud of.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good place to start if you're not selling anything that you've created yourself first. And that's kind of what I've been doing too. It's I'm thinking for me what my dream outcome for someone who just happens to stumble upon my website, like what my signature offering is, which is my coaching training program, Mama Bliss Coaching School. And then just kind of step backwards. It's like, okay, so all the possibilities, what might the beginning of her journey might be. The very beginning is just like, right now, she just, my ideal dream client is, like I was saying, like moms who enjoy blogging as a creative outlet. And the reason that I can really relate to that person and situation is just because that's who I was at the very, very beginning of this journey.
Exactly. Yes.
And then it's just so funny because the women who have gone through my coaching training program, it doesn't necessarily like they're all kind of locked into that, demographic, but it's more just capturing the essence. So then using that as a guideline, and who knows going to actually come across, but just holding their hand in that journey. So that is very interesting. But so you did touch upon it's important. It's almost ingrained, like you were saying, into us, the importance of having an email list. And I would even go as far as to say it's important. I always use the analogy of planting a tree. The best time to start building your email list was like yesterday. And I'm
Yes.
saying this because we live in a new neighborhood and there's no trees around here. And I keep saying to my husband, we got to plant a tree like yesterday. So like literally.
Yes.
So I even say to my clients who aren't even doing this as a business yet, is just at least get a sign up form there for people to start signing up. Do you have any tips for someone who's just starting their email list on some basic like opt-in ideas, or even what to do with this list that you get? Like how often you should be emailing them, what sorts of things?
Actually, I love that you said that, you need to have an email list like yesterday. I think that, we have kind of shifted. I know now if you ask me, I would say you need to have, you should have emailed your list like yesterday,
Yeah.
I think now everyone has a list kind of, but they haven't, there isn't much thought into what to send them and the kind of content that should be going out to your list. I understand it can actually be pretty overwhelming. The whole, email marketing process, you've got opt-ins and then you get them on your list, what do you send them? And then when funnel comes into the picture, you have like a sales, it's like, you've already lost them, that's how things are. I think just to start off, I always say you need to have like an opt-in freebie. That's the first thing. And then like a simple thank you page, number 2. And then at the very minimum, a welcome email or a welcome email series. So these 3 things, it's like you need to have these preferably even before you put yourself out there. So you don't even need to have a blog. You don't even need to have fully launched your website at all.
That's true.
I spend so much time on the back end. But, actually you could have just had a landing page there, an opt-in freebie there, and then go out and start promoting yourself. Grow your list while you're building that back end. So, if going back, exactly, I would have done this, I would have saved myself like months of time. So, and like you mentioned, opt-in freebie ideas. I think, we all know that you need to come up with an opt-in that addresses a pain point, because we all say, solve a problem for them, they'll opt into your list. But even more important than that, you need to pick a pain point that's right for your business. Because, you can offer something, and I call these, for lack of a better word, hyper opt-ins. You've got those 250 Facebook groups or 250 Pinterest groups or something like that, which everyone wants to get their hands on, because we all want those, but the problem with offering freebies like that, if it's right for you, that's perfect, okay, but the problem with offering freebies like that is that you get lots of people on your list who may not really end up caring about the services and the products that you offer, because it's just too far of a mismatch between that freebie and the things that you're offering. Yeah. So what I always say is that your opt-in and the services and products that you offer, it has to be really linked. Mm-hmm. So the moment someone opts in, it should be really easy for you to nudge them towards that product or service or affiliate offer. It has to be linked. So the size of your list, it doesn't matter, because and these are real numbers. Like I was just reading a couple of reports. You can have a list of 10,000 and make like a full-time income. You can make like a 4K a month, and someone with a list of 3,000 makes the same amount of money. So it really depends on how targeted those subscribers are. So, that opt-in that you have, think about the pain point that is right for you. So even if you have not launched a service or a product, because, we all start somewhere. So I didn't start having a product or service right off. So think about the kind of problems that you want to solve for your audience, because I'm sure you have a general picture of your target audience in mind, and then think about what exactly you want to do for them, to inspire or educate, what exactly is that, and then try and work out an opt-in that is closest to what do you want to offer in the future. So it has to be aligned with the direction that you're going for your blog and business. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. No, that's true. It's all about the quality of your list. Yeah, for sure. And it just kind of like, I've been at this blogging thing now for fun, started off for fun 11 years ago. Wow. And it's just been an interesting journey. And I've been noticed catching myself saying this to some friends. Like it feels that there's like a shift in the environment, in the online environment. So maybe people are becoming more like connoisseurs of getting on email lists. Like when you just said earlier how you thought it was kind of weird that people blog. Like I started blogging so long ago when I was living in the middle of nowhere. Like nobody had high-speed internet. It was all like dial-up internet, like in the boonies. And so
I know.
I would be there with my baby, with my, my girlfriends who were all like farmers and like totally Luddites, like not technical at all. And I'm taking pictures and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to blog about this later. They're like, what? You're weird, But now it's much more mainstream.
Yeah, yeah.
So I felt that back then it was almost easier to, I don't know, or maybe I'm different as a person. Maybe I'm just more complex now, but it feels like my list, it's shifting and it's just, yeah, you almost have to get more strategic. But luckily, we have people who are like you, certified, and they can explain to us how, because like, especially the mums, not to generalize, but I feel that I attract the creative moms, like myself, like I was saying, when very kind of like right brain thinkers, very creative. And so I think that's why I was emailing you all those weird questions, because especially when it came to the welcoming sequence, I felt the short circuiting in my brain, like, bzz, bzz, but what if it's like two different opt-ins, because I was doing like content upgrade and stuff like that. So I guess, so to keep it very, very simple, so an opt-in freebie, and we talked about touching upon a pain point and then solving a problem for one of our ideal clients or ideal readers if we're not actually selling anything yet. So do you have any guidelines on that freebie? Like, does it have to be something, would you say like even just something very simple like a PDF or an audio? How would you keep a freebie that's effective yet doesn't take like a huge team of online web support to produce?
Yeah, I mean, no, like you mentioned, it has to be simple. And I think this is where myself, my first freebie was like madness. It was like 50 pages of something, and I didn't even put it out. It's somewhere in my computer. So it has to be short, something that they can consume quickly. So I know people have email courses these days are really popular, and everyone wants to have an opt-in freebie in an email course. But yeah, you can go ahead and do that, but try and keep it within like 7 to 10 days. I know there are people who run long challenges, like 21 days and so on. I don't know. I'm still not sold on that, because I feel the drop-off is after like 7 days, 10 days, you get people dropping off.
Oh, yeah. Even after 4 days, because I used to, a long time ago, I had a 10-day challenge. And I could see the views of, like, every day was a different video. So, like, the first day it was like, I don't know, let's say like 500 views, and the next, and then it would drop off so quickly, and nobody even watched like day 10. Yeah.
No, and you mentioned an interesting point about how like 10 years ago, even a couple of years ago, how things have changed.
Yeah.
If you remember those days, we used to be like, wow, I got an email, but it's not like that anymore. I still remember those days. I was so excited to get an email, and I know the whole internet and the dial-up thing, and yeah, but things have changed. Even if you look like 2-3 years ago, I think those people who got in then, who started to really strategize about their businesses online, I think they are like ahead of the curve, because they got in when everything was fresh. So growing your list was so much easier than, you just need to have a sign-up form. You didn't even have to try very much.
Yeah.
Sign up, but it's not like that. You really need to get strategic, and yeah, even if you're giving something for free, you need to sell, in a sense. So you need to even sell your freebie. It sounds harsh, but it's true. So you need to like optimize it. You need to make it sound fancy in a sense, and really, hit at those benefits. Even if it's just a freebie. So yeah, I mean, you don't have to come up with something that is long or very well designed, PDF, nothing like that, because like I am totally design challenged. So all my, I have never outsourced my freebie. So I just do it simply in Pages, which is the Word equivalent for Apple, for Mac. So, I just do it in that, and it works well. You just need to have a good landing page that shows off what your freebie is. So you need to have like a strong headline that hits at that pain point for your target audience, and I think you're good to go.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So how about we touch upon what started my stalking of you, the whole welcoming sequence.
Okay.
Do you have any way you can help us simplify, like how many emails, what to say in them?
Okay. Wow. Let me see. For the welcome email series, I usually recommend you could do like 5 to 7 emails.
Okay.
So I was, I went a little overboard in my first series. So I had like, I think 9 or 10 emails, but it didn't really show because I did the first 3 back to back. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the emails, I spaced it out one a week. So I did it that way for a reason. Because when I was getting certified and so on, there were a couple of studies that showed that the first few days when someone is on your list is when they are most engaged.
Yes.
Because, it kind of makes sense because they would have read a post that is, probably say, hey, I need to sign up for this. And then you can see that, they are, there must have been a reason for them to give up the email address. They must have been really taken with something that you put out there or your freebie or your content upgrade. So that is when you want to maximize those few days. So that's the reason I do back to back. So you have the welcome email, and I'll give you some pointers for the welcome email in a bit. So your first one, obviously, you welcome them. You tell them why you are the best person to help them on this journey, and tell them what they can expect. And what I usually do is to kind of have like a teaser in there to tell them what the next email is going to be about. So I kind of open like in the postscript. I usually do it in the postscript or towards the end of the email. Kind of just give like just instill some curiosity. And then the second one, and then the third email. So, but these 3 emails, I make sure to pack them with value. So in the third email, I believe in my series, I also gave like an exclusive guide, something that they can't find anywhere on my site. And then after that, the fourth and subsequent emails, you could do, you do likewise. But the thing is, it depends on what the goal of your series is, like I mentioned. So if, you're running like a parenthood blog or something, maybe you have a simple ebook that you want to sell, you could guide them towards that ebook. So the end of the series, the last 2 emails, you could do like a soft sell of sorts for the ebook. Like for me, when I started, I did not have any product or service. So I wanted to actually get a testimonial from my subscribers. I wanted to build social proof because I was like sub-zero, totally new. Mm-hmm. So every single email was about showing authority, credibility, value. And it led them to my first ask. So my first ask was, I think, email 7 or 8. And I asked my subscribers, you've been on my list for about a month to a month and a half. Have you been enjoying the content? If you have, I would love to share a couple of sentences from you on my site. So that was the reason I was able to build so much of social proof, testimonials within a very short period of time. So, it really depends on, like I mentioned, it's not an easy answer, but it depends on where you want them to go at the end of that series. Are you leading them, like you mentioned, like yours is a coaching program. So, that's one direction. So if you work backwards, all your emails should be tied to, showing them the problem, and then enlightening them on the solution, and then giving them, hey, this is my solution. If you think we gel, we'd be a good match, you could sign up for that, something like that,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. So glad I'm recording this because I'm just going to type whatever you just said there in the last couple of seconds. Just kidding. I'll tweak it a bit. That is awesome, honey. Thank you. And speaking of products and services, I'm just curious. So what does your email sequence lead your subscribers to? What are you offering there over at your website?
Okay. So from a year ago, mine has changed a lot, as I've added more things to my product mix. So I have a few different journeys in a sense. So it depends on what they opt in for. So if they opt in for a different category, they're going to be led through in a different stream.
That's what hurts my brain. Yeah, because I kind of have another couple of other little sub journeys.
No,
So
it hurts my brain as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So sometimes when I didn't clean up, it looks like a whole mess within ConvertKit in the email service provider. So yeah, so it depends. So one stream kind of goes to my ebook. I have an ebook. Then another stream, depending on when they opt in, would go into my course, which is Email List Simplified. So, and then they kind of merge in between. Yeah, so yeah, it hurts my brain as well. So
Wow.
those who didn't sign up, those who didn't buy the course, they would kind of be led to the other one. You get what I mean? So yeah, so it has changed a lot from that initial welcome email series. So, but the thing is, there's a category like blogging strategy that I talk a little bit about that as well. I don't really have a direct product or service for that. So for those people, I still just lead them through my welcome email series, and then they join into that email sequence somewhere in between, So yeah. So it doesn't happen straight off. It kind of grows with you.
Yeah.
So as I add a product to the mix, then I would have to go in and change all of it up. The way things are.
Oh, see, that's where sometimes I feel like I need professional help. It's just like, I don't know. I definitely fall in the camp of, as soon as I have to I might have to, it's so funny. My husband's an engineer, so he this would just rock his world. But for me, it's all like, oh my God, I need to draw out a big diagram with stick people, walking a path.
I do put it down on paper as well, because it is kind of hard to visualize, especially as you add more things in. So, even when it's on paper, it looks decent. It's like, okay, I can do that. Yeah. But when you go in and you try and put it together, then that's when it's like, oh my God.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I just switched over to ConvertKit too. And so just figuring out too, the automation rules and tagging and oh my God, I'm just I might have
to. It is a bit of a learning curve.
Yes, totally. Yeah. But it's awesome though. I'm really happy with it so far. Yeah. Okay, honey. So we just have a few more minutes. Do you have any parting words to our listeners, or do you have some next steps for them if they want to explore email marketing or your world a bit deeper?
Oh, like you mentioned, I think you already said it, you should get started yesterday. So I mean, it's overwhelming, but just take it one step at a time. And I think as moms, we need to give ourselves lots of grace, because people who have been I see people and they've been doing it for 5 years, and I feel overwhelmed, and I feel this need to go in and do everything, and right this second, it doesn't work like that. It's a journey, and so for the mom who's watching this, I'll tell her the same thing. Just take it a step at a time, and just maybe learn or grasp one new thing a month. If it's this month, if it's email marketing, try and get everything on email marketing, and then implement. That's the most important thing I think we miss out on. So we just take in information, we don't implement, but try and make sure that you implement it, and then another new thing for the next month.
That's great advice.
Mm-hmm. And I think for those wanting to get started, maybe Kathy, we could include the link to the email course. I have the free one for email lists for newbies, so that kind of gets you started with the whole email marketing process.
Awesome. We'll definitely put that in the show notes, the link to the email lists for newbies.
That's right.
Awesome. Not newfies, newbies.
Newbies.
Do you know newfies?
No,
newfies, I'm in Canada.
Okay.
And there's a province called Newfoundland.
Oh, really?
And you call people from Newfoundland newfies.
Okay. Are they happy about that?
Pardon me?
Are they happy about that being called?
Well, I don't know. It's pretty funny because they're a little different. They have a strong tie still to their, I think they must, what kind of culture? I think they have an Irish background.
I see.
Or what's the Welsh or something, because they have a really strong accent. And you can barely understand what they're saying. Okay. And I've worked with a bunch of newfies when I was in corporate too, and they're like the nicest people. You know, it's a very, very small little, like, yeah, but they're just like the kindest people, but they have, anyway, for some reason, there's a lot of newfie jokes growing up. So sorry, newbies.
Okay.
Yeah, email list for newbies.
Yes.
And thank you so much for coming. Like, I'm always so impressed with, I see you around a lot, and yeah, I just see the beautiful feedback you get from people, and righteously so. Yes, you explain everything beautifully, and I don't know, I just feel very held. And again, I just was so amazed with your kindness and generosity with your advice when I needed a lot of clarification on some things. But yeah, so again, we'll find a link to your email course and where people can sign up for the beautiful email sequence of yours. The welcome sequence over at blissbeyondnaptime.com. But you can find Meera over at meerakothand.com. And that's MEERAKOTHAND.com.
Yes. Perfect.
Awesome. Oh, honey, thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you. I feel so happy to connect with you.
I know.
And all the mamas.
I know. Yes. Thank you so much. And we'll talk soon.